Welcome back to Point of Focus, and today with me in studio are two young ladies affiliated with an organization that deals with social issues in our country. And we have today Miss Renee Brown and Miss Shalina Mohammed. Hi, welcome so much.
Hello.
Thank you for coming and joining me today on this program.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, you're welcome. So tell me a bit about you guys. Shalina, tell me a bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am an active volunteer. I volunteer with several organizations, such as the Habitat for Humanity. Well, most of you all should know that Habitat for Humanity is an organization which builds homes for those less fortunate. And what I do, we also have an annual concert, every year annual benefit concert, and I take part in that because I sing. And also I volunteer at several homes throughout the country. I was a youth member of the Leonard Shesha Home for the Disabled in Pleasantville, and I also volunteer at several children homes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love working with children, and I love working with the old-aged and stuff like that.
You have a long portfolio, but it's really commendable, though, the work that you're doing. And you know, you're very active in all these organizations. And Rennie, what about you? Can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Currently, I'm the reigning Miss Commonwealth, Trinidad and Tobago. I represented the country in St. Lucia last year.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And through that, I've realized that I have a passion for mentoring. And I'm also passionate about human rights, I'm against sexual violence against children and all of these things. I'm also a member of President Award. And apart from that, what else? I volunteer with CKFTU from time to time at the Lady Hochoy home in Gasparilla.
Okay, so from what I've heard, both of you are affiliated with an NGO, correct?
Yes.
And which
We're
NGO?
Presidents Award together.
Together,
Yes.
great. So tell me a bit of what your organization does.
Well, President's Award, it's worldwide actually. But we have Trinidad, President's Award Trinidad, and we are in the unit in South San Fernando. And basically we go on hikes and we are taught life skills, survival skills, and we do a lot of community service with the award as well. And there are several levels. We have bronze, silver and gold, and in order to obtain those levels we have certain qualifications we must meet. So at each level we must do a talent, you must learn a trade.
It's
Okay, so it's
Something
basically,
like that.
okay.
And
So
we
it's
have
basically about your skills.
final qualifying
Yeah.
hike, where we, after the hike, we do a report and we submit it, and we know if we
Okay.
get our award. After
All
that.
right, great. So let's talk a bit about some of the issues. And I mean, we're going to talk about sexual abuse. And Renee, you were saying that's something you're strongly against. You know, let's talk a bit about what's happening in our country currently, especially amongst children. We have, and I think one of our recent cases is with the 5-year-old who was sexually abused. And this was by a 31-year-old man. And you know, it's very sad to see what our children are experiencing in today's society, because at a young age they have to deal with all the trauma that comes with it as they grow older. So let's get your views on this, Rennie.
I think that sexual abuse is, I really don't know, is the most terrible thing a child could go through, because it's something that they will have to deal with for the rest of their life. It's not something that they could just put in a closet and say, that's the end of me. You know, it damages them mentally, physically. They have problems at school because of it. Some of them, bullying is a real issue, and they don't know how to handle it because of what they have been through from that age. They don't know how to handle the changes that they go through in their body. And
So are you saying, based on their experience being sexually abused at a young age, these are some of the ripple effects of it?
Definitely. It's such a sick thing that men should damage little girls and even women as well is just something that really, really, really needs to change. And Trinidad, we have to stand, we have to make a stand and stand against these people.
Yes, but you know, children remain as one of the most vulnerable groups in society.
Yes.
And they are very open to various types of abuse. Apart, you know, from sexual abuse, you have all different types of things that they experience, violence and all of that at home. And, you know, even at schools, you have teachers interfering with the children, you have family members, you have incest, you have all these things that come out of it,
And
you know.
also, the children, they cannot trust anyone anymore. Throughout their lifetime, they lose that trust. It's very, very hard for them to go on with life normally.
Yes, that's because of their vulnerability. And so what do you guys think? You know, Shalina, give me your view. What do you think should be done to assist these children on, and prevent situations like this from happening? I mean, there are various organizations. A few weeks ago, we had Rape Crisis that came on, and we spoke about, you know, victims of sexual abuse and even predators as well. But give me your thoughts. You guys are teenagers, and what you see through your eyes, you know, some of these things you're facing currently.
Okay, well, as you said, what we can do to prevent it, or, you know, to help these kids, I think there should be more measures in schools, like counseling, and, well, teachers should monitor their students. You know, sometimes children with these problems, they act differently with other children in class, and that's one way we can figure out, you know, a child has a problem. And in terms of preventing it, I guess we need to educate the public, teach the adults that it is wrong. Why do you do this to children? Why do you hurt children like this? So
Parents should be more open to their children as well, have discussions, talk about what happened in school today, and find out more about their child. That's the only way that you would know, and that's the only way that something could be done to help.
So, okay, let's take this same example I stated earlier with our 5-year-old. In that case, the 5-year-old is at home, and from the knowledge that we've gathered, it's a single parent and a close affiliation of his. Now, there are many families like that, where there's a child 5 years and under, and there's one parent at home, and then there's a loved one, or, you know, someone they're acquainted with that comes in and stays and interferes with the child. So what do you think can be done, or what advice would you give to parents who are in such situations with their children?
I would give them the same advice, honestly. Talk to your child and find out what is going on. Tell him or her, listen, mommy's here, daddy's here. Let's talk about this. You could be open with me, and also see a professional, probably a psychologist or somebody. If the child agrees, or if the child talks to the parents about it, seek professional advice.
I think one of the problems that we face is that a lot of times these young children are being threatened by the person,
parents,
by the predator, yes. They're often threatened, and because of fear, they do not want to speak out, you know, and sometimes parents are unaware of the situation, and the child grows up with this hurt inside, afraid of speaking out because of what the predator may do to them. You know, their life, they feel threatened in some way. And I believe that in situations like this, this is where parents need to pay more attention to the behavior of the child, and even the moods, and really, you know, be very careful who you leave your children with. I think that's one of the lessons we learn.
Yes. And that is so scary, because a lot of these children end up having addictions, and they end up in abusive relationships. So we really need to clamp down on this and see how best we can help in alleviating it.
Yes. And Shalina, if this young child was your sister, tell me what action you would take.
wow. Well, firstly, I will seek to I don't know what I would do, honestly. I would be hurt, because it would have been my little sister. and I would try to get justice
Yes.
for my little sister.
And Rennie, I'm guessing you agree with her as well.
Definitely, I agree with her. But first, before we get justice and all of these things, you know, I have to comfort her, remind her that she's beautiful, and tell her that that's not the end of the road. She has a long life ahead of her. She has so much potential to be
Motivate
whatever
her.
she wants to be.
Yeah.
That is just a pebble. So,
So you like to build her self-esteem.
definitely, I'd like to do that.
Yes.
And then after, seek justice on all of these things.
That's great. That's great. And you know, if we look at let's skip ahead and look at, you know, missing teenagers, where we have a lot of our young people. You know, we are not seeing them. You know, what do you think is the cause of this?
For me, one of the main causes is peer pressure, is also socialization, and social media. Well, that's three causes all this there. But, you know, a lot of these girls are pressured. Well, for instance, I'll talk about girls, right? A lot of these girls leave home because they are pressured by young men. And they don't understand how powerful they are in making their decisions.
But pressured in what way?
Peer pressured because, okay, how can I put this? You know, for instance, if a girl comes from a family where she doesn't feel like if she's loved or whatever, right? And a guy come and he's like, oh, you know, you are
love
really
you.
beautiful. I love you, you know, and all of these things. And he's like, come with me. I could take care of you. I could create a better life. She would go towards that. And that might end up, you know, making her make a bad decision, I guess. And she
Without telling her parents.
Without telling her parents, and then the parents are worrying and probably going on crime watch to find the children. And, you know, we have to mentor these girls as young women. We have
But
to.
we have young men as well running away from
Yeah,
home
we
or
have
missing.
young men,
But
yeah.
do you think human trafficking has anything to do with this?
Yes,
Shalina, what are
yes.
your thoughts on that?
I think social media has a major role to play in this because we have kids are able to make contact with people all over the world, and in that way, like how Rennie said, they can be influenced. And I mean, human trafficking is a worldwide problem, and I think this is why a lot of them, they fall for the trap. They get into contact with these people online. They probably plan to meet with them. I'm sure a lot of people have seen Lifetime movies, and these are real stories
Yes.
that they
Yes.
make movies out of. So I think with social media, parents need to put some limits with their kids. Probably at a certain age, then they are able to join Facebook.
So more monitoring
or-
should be done.
Yes,
Definitely.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Like, for instance, an 11-year-old has codes on her phone. I couldn't do that when I was 11.
So you're seeing that they have more of a private life now at a younger age.
Yes.
They have more privilege.
Yes.
They-
I think because society has evolved so
yes.
much in terms of technology and, you know, being online and all these
Yes.
things that
Yes.
now parents are just like, you know, this is what children are doing. So everyone has it.
exposed to
And
everything.
then you have the situation where the children, they want it, you know.
And they
so,
have to have it,
yes.
and the parents give it to them.
So then there should be a limit, you're saying there should be a
Yes.
limit
There should.
in
There
terms of the privileges
Definitely.
that they are offered, yes,
Yes.
at a young age. And I think this too can help in terms of family development because
Definitely.
you're going to have better control over your children. You know, simple things as having a curfew. That's very important. The friends that your children, you know, are around is also
Yes.
very important. And of course, as you mentioned, social media, who they communicate with, the friends that they have, and you know, all these things play a vital role in, you know, curbing and helping some of our young people. Of course, positive impact is always important. Positive people around always
Definitely.
important. Yes.
I think that is one of the major problems in our country, or even in the world. We are losing control of Generation Y, and we need to get that control back in order to create a more stable and peaceful country and world. So, yeah.
Yes, so Renee, to our viewers who are looking on, any closing remarks or any advice you'd like to give to our teenagers or even parents who are looking on with regards to sexual abuse and, you know, even if someone is looking on and a missing teenager, you know, you're missing a loved one, any advice you'd like to give?
Pray. Prayer is the answer to all things, and it's something that could bring comfort and even bring your children home. Another tip of advice I may give you is to maintain communication with your children. Don't be too strict on them because they might end up hiding stuff. Always be open, encourage an open relationship, and show them that you love them and you're there for them and you're very proud of them.
Thank you very much. And Shalina?
On the same thing?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll say to pray as well. And first of all, I like to say, have confidence in yourself. Never let anyone downgrade you in your life. You are unique. You should respect yourself. Once you respect yourself, people will respect you, and live your life to the fullest. Don't take things to heart. Enjoy your family, and what else?
Well, thank you very much, young ladies, for joining me today. It was a pleasure having both of you.
Thank you for
and
having
I know in the
us.
future we will see you girls again.
Surely.
Yes. So let's take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by some other teenagers and young adults as we continue a discussion on social issues. You're watching Point of Focus, and we'll be right back.